What's the dumbest thing you've ever done because your brain was on autopilot? I printed out an essay and then threw it right into the trash. Your brain was telling you something. Yeah, it was telling him no, but his body was telling him yes. I call it bold and brash, more like belongs in the trash. Wow, you hate school more than I do. Locked my vehicle and tossed the keys inside before shutting the door. I just did this today, but my trunk was open, so I climbed inside my trunk and tried to push the seats down. I'm also 15 weeks pregnant. My husband sat there and watched me struggle for a minute before he told me the passenger door was still open. We had a good laugh. I went up the barista at Starbucks and said, "Pack of Marlboro Lights." Sorry sir, we don't have that flavor. Have you checked the secret menu? Yeah, they do. It's called House Blend. My husband is a barista, and so I sometimes go bother him at work. I have said, "Can I get a venti insert's name here?" more than I care to admit. Worst is I've said it to his co-workers. They think it's hysterical to bring him to me. Tried to zoom in while reading a book, or just tabbing on the page to keep it from locking. I've tried to literally hit pause on a conversation before because I missed what they said. Even reached my hand out like there was a keyboard in front of me. Did you just try to alt-tab away from me in real life? No. Whispering _CONTROLALTDELETE. Next time put the closed captions on. I did this to my BF. He was talking over a song I wanted to hear on my headphones, so I reached out to hit spacebar to pause mute him. He sat there in shock waiting for me to realize what I had done. Used my phone flashlight to find my phone. Thank you for the gold, kind stranger. Now to figure out what to spend it on. Can confirm you are not the only one. Blew on my ice cream to cool it down. I do that too. Ice cream is way too cold. Blowing on it warms it up, since my breath is warmer than the ice cream. Bruh, I do that to biscuits. You are not nearly as weird as I am. My nephew has one of those big iPads and takes notes with a stylus. If you tap the stylus, it undoes the last writing. Now when he makes a mistake in pencil, he taps the pencil. After working with art programs for a while, I sometimes attempt CTRL-Z while drawing traditionally. On my graphics tablet there is an undo button in an easy place for your left hand. I have tried pressing the table so hard when trying to do actual drawing. I sometimes try to CTRL+F on paper books. Everywhere, baby boomers' heads are exploding. MRLENILSKNTEVNUCPNCILs Britingi Baxiasi is on S. You guys ever drink from a straw, then zone out, and tilt it, like you're drinking straight from the cup, and put whatever you're drinking all over yourself? Literally every time I drink with a straw, I've just given up and sworn off straws, but if anyone asks it's because I want to save the turtles, okay. Depends on how many pints of whiskey I've had. When I arrived for my exams I unzipped my coat to see that I still have my night clothes on. If it adds to the explanation, I didn't get enough sleep before the day of the exam, and I was fasting. Again, fasting was mentioned to avoid suggestions of staying awake for the morning. It just created more questions instead. My junior high had a dress code, and one cold winter morning I put my jacket on as soon as I got dressed. It wasn't until I got to school and took off my non-uniform jacket that I realized I hadn't taken off my neon animal from the Muppets nightshirt. I went to work in my slippers the other day. Early morning on my way to work. Turned into my high school and parked in the student parking lot and started to get out of the car. I was 32. How many times did you repeat? This post could actually make a lot of sense. How long were you in high school? I dropped a spoon, then apologized to the spoon for dropping it. I apologize to anything I drop, just to make sure it still trusts me. I apologize to things sometimes on the off chance that objects actually do come to life when I'm not around, like in Toy Story, so they won't try to do me harm. Wouldn't the massive numbers of inanimate things you've slighted in your life outweigh the few you remembered to apologize to? I would prefer not to think about it. I dumped my soda into my food at a restaurant. I poured milk into my cereal box once. Mama didn't raise no quitter, so did you eat the whole box? My girlfriend and I ate a decent amount then threw the rest out. You gave it your best effort. Proud of you, bud. What size of box was it? Oh, I always thought that brand name cereals could be eaten in one sitting alone, and I only ate less to ration it. My much older cousin once took me out to eat at IHOP with her husband when I was like 13. I grabbed the wrong container and poured hot coffee all over my stack of pancakes. I used nail polish remover instead of mouthwash after brushing my teeth. It was awful. Used nail polish remover as a makeup remover for my eyes once. Never again. Jesus Christ, your eyes would never forgive you if you went blind. Same happened to me. Nail polish remover beside my bed. Woke up from a night of drinking, grabbed it thinking it was water. Nope, it was not. Ugh, gives me shivers remembering it. I used to smoke in my 20s. I always had a cup of water next to my bed and another cup of water to throw in the burning smoke when I finished smoking it. Yeah, I know. Took cups of water for two very different reasons is a disaster about to happen sooner or later, and the disaster did happen not only once but many times. I got up and took my 3 nighttime meds, 2 sleeping pills and a rather sedating neuromed instead of my morning meds. I had an instant where I thought maybe I could go to work, but then wisdom prevailed and I called in sick. I did this and went to work once. You made the right call staying home. So did I. I used to take a strong antihistamine at night against a very itchy rash. My boss got worried because I was apparently replying to her with nonsense. I've done this several times, but mine just make me really tired, but still technically able to function. So I went to work and was a weird zombie. Couple times a year I'll say I love you to a business colleague when ending a phone call. My wife gets a kick out of that. I work front desk at a hotel. The daytime staff work either 7 AM to 3 PM or 3 PM to 11 PM. Sometimes when I'm working the PM shift I'll accidentally say night night instead of goodbye when I go to hang up the phone. It's an uncomfortably intimate thing to accidentally say to a stranger on the phone. It's even worse if I know the guest was in a different time zone so it's not even nighttime where they are. I work front desk at a hotel too, except I'm the overpass, 11 PM to 7 AM. I try to start out my night by saying, have a good evening to people, and then have a good morning at the end. But both because it's my morning or night, and because I get generally confused, I have said the wrong time of day to a lot of people. Some over the phone and I just hope they think I'm in some far off call center, but sometimes with the people standing right in front of me. When I was a truck driver I drove 200 miles down the wrong freeway and had to turn around and drive 200 miles back. I never told my dispatcher and he never caught it. I did that once. Unfortunately I had to tell my dispatcher of my mistake as it threw off the rest of my loads for that day and made it impossible to do them, and the one I had was going to be late. Then a couple weeks later I missed the backhaul message and it rated back empty. I felt like an idiot and he treated me like on for a bit too. Sounds like you're not getting enough sleep. Not a truck driver, but my brother is. Dude just worked 12 days straight, either yesterday or the day before was his first day off out of that. Seems insane to me. He works inconsistent shifts, inconsistent days, and for such unforgiving periods of time. TBH, it seems like the same issue we have with doctors. Overworked and underrested causes work problems. I wanted to refill my cup with more water, so I just poured my already half-filled cup out on the table to make room for more water. I had a similar experience, but it was more like I reached out to grab my cup, but my hand had ulterior motives and just slapped the cup over. Hard like water went everywhere. I had no intention to do this, but I did. I've poured myself a cup of water from a pitcher, and having then noticed that the pitcher needed more water, poured the cup back in. Then the cup needed more water. Just recently I was talking to my friend and got on a topic about something that I had been looking up on my phone. Started to search for my phone so I could send him the link. I couldn't find it anywhere. I was talking to him while walking from room to room, looking everywhere, checking my pants pockets, looking in the weird random places I've left it before. Eventually I told him I'd send it to him when I found my phone. He reminded me that I was talking to him on my phone. Same thing happened to me, dude. I can't find my phone. Do you remember if I had it in the car? What are you calling me on? Okay, thanks. Oh man, my wife forgot her phone at home. Me texts wife, you forgot your phone. Recently I was trying to microwave some popcorn, and instead of putting the popcorn packet in the microwave I put in the plastic wrap and proceeded to press start. I did not realize what I had done wrong until I looked down at the popcorn packet and thought something's not right here. 2 and 2 got put together before anything nasty or disastrous happened, thankfully. I can't tell you how many times I've tried to put the milk away in the oven and only stopped when I couldn't find the milk shelf. I frequently start to put the milk in the cabinet with the coffee cups, since that's the only thing we use milk for. Yeah, I have done that. Made cereal, went to the pantry, opened the pantry, leaned in, realized something wasn't right. Where is a little thing the milk goes into? Oh. I also accidentally put my cup of tea with the cup in the bin instead of my tea bag. My mum was there too. Not me, but my husband called me from work. BC he forgot to put a shirt on before leaving, and could I bring him one, please? There he was, just wearing a jacket. Evidently he tossed it on to go start the car in the cold and never took it off. Eat a runner up goes to the time my daughter went to school and forgot to put on underwear in 2nd grade. Yeah, of course she was wearing a skirt. We live 30 minutes from school and she realized it just as we pulled into the parking lot, and I marched her into the nurse, who grabbed out an emergency stash of granny briefs labeled with the school's name on them in big black Sharpie. She's 18 now and still mortified when we bring it up. Had to stop a boyfriend once from leaving without pants on. He had put boots, jacket, hat and gloves on. I got a few meters down the garden path, then realized I was sans pants. Thankfully we have a high fence. Was the fence high or were you?